Nails, Andrew, fabulous pricing at $54.90 for the largest size. I looked up the latest numbers. We're nearly at 4,500 five-star reviews. So that's a pretty good sign that it works.
Yeah, it's an excellent sign that it works, and that's the same with our meal replacement, the same with our glucosamine chondroitin, and it should be expected to work, because when we create a product, it's not some invention that comes out of my brain. It's an invention that comes out of the science. So as long as we're following the blueprint that the science establishes, then you should expect that we're creating a product that, like all my products, are customer picks, that the average review is about 4.6 or 4.7 stars, that it's the byproduct of following the science. And our Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails is not an exception to that. It's a product that performs, I think, better than most people expect, kind of like our joint product, because they've been disappointed. That and I often say the worst thing that other companies do, I don't really care about my competition in terms of them making products better than ours, but what happens is they make products that discourage people. And when people get discouraged, they give up on supplements in general, and they give up on the opportunity of these products to make a difference. And when it comes to Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails, I think there's almost 6,000 reviews, and close to 80% of those reviews are five-star reviews. You add in the four-star reviews, you're awfully close to, I think, over 90%. So those reviews speak volumes, and I think a lot of them, you'll read them, and it's the fact that they were discouraged before, and they actually didn't expect this product to work, and they were thrilled when it did.
Wonderful price at $54.90 for the 360 caps. You're in very good company. One of HSN's biggest selling, most well-loved, beloved products of all time, Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails. I'm gonna run over this way. For anybody out there that is looking to really kind of kickstart that New Year's resolution for weight loss, and you're looking something to maximize, acetyl L-carnitine